All right. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Europe Education's MBBS Abroad webinar 2021. My name is Dr. Soham, and I am Europe Education Ukraine's Managing Director. I'm going to represent my company today, and I can see that we have a lot of participants today. We have about 27 participants for the day. So let me just introduce our speakers to you today. First of all, we have Dr. Inesa Ishkova with us today from Ukraine. Dr. Inesa Ishkova is an ophthalmologist, a very renowned ophthalmologist in Ukraine. She has finished her medical education in 1990, and she has this enormous experience of working with students, with international students for 20 years. So for 20 years, she's been working with international students. And today we are honored to have you with us, Dr. Inesa. And Dr. Inesa, thank you so much, Dr. So I'll just tell you about the format of this webinar that we're going to follow right now, today. So right now, unfortunately, Dr. Inesa can't give us a lot of time because she's a very busy doctor. So we are anyway very thankful to her for her to giving us this time that she's already given to us. So first of all, we'll be taking in questions. Anything and everything related to MBBS abroad. So in the first 20 minutes, Dr. Inesa will be asking us questions, and in the next 15 minutes, you can ask us questions about our services in India. So yeah, I would like to invite questions already. There's this one request that I have. Whatever questions you have, please go ahead and write it in the chat box. So yeah, so that we have the least amount of extra noises available. So yeah, please go on with your first questions. Please go ahead. Who's going to ask the first question to us? Okay, there's a question we have from Purva Sood. Is the medium of instruction in Ukraine English? Dr. Inesa, please comment on this question about in what language do students study in English, study in Ukrainian? Yeah.
Of course, for foreign students, for Indian students, we use English. Don't worry about this. Of course, English, of course.
So yeah, as Dr. Inesa said, and I would also like to just put a little light on this question as well. So yeah, there are a lot of factors which we have, like for example, in a lot of Russian universities, you know, there's this thing that the first 3 years they teach you subjects in English language, and then in the 4th, 5th, and 6th year they teach you subjects in Russian language. So in Ukraine, we absolutely don't have these problems. In Ukraine, in fact, all throughout the 6 years, the medium of instruction is absolutely just English. So you don't have to worry about this. Please just come to Ukraine to study medicine, and the medium of instruction is only and only going to be the English language. Okay, ma'am, we have another question from Justin Abhishek. Ma'am, please tell us about the practical training for students in Ukraine. So how much of focus do we have on practical training for students in Ukraine?
Practical training. First of all, maybe I need to tell about the following things. We have lectures. During lectures, students can understand subject in theoretical way. And second part of the program, it's different practical classes. They can be in different way. It can be seminars, it can be like colloquium, it can be like laboratory work. And of course, if we will talk about clinical subjects, it different kind of practical work in hospitals or in special training centers. For example, for emergency, in order to train, we can use different simulators in order to show students how it possible in future in real life to use it. I can tell about my methods, about my experience, and I try to use main devices which should be connected with my subject. And first of all, students will work on such devices with such equipment. They try to understand how to use it by examination each other. And only after that, we can go to the clinic in order to try to use it in real life. Is it enough? Yeah. Guys, if you have any question, you can ask. Don't be shy. Actually, Dr. Saham, please, I need to say a few words. In Ukraine, we try not to use long distance between teachers and students. That's why you should be relaxed and be free to ask any question which you want.
Thank you so much, Dr. Inesa. I think you've just motivated our audience today to ask us more questions. So yeah, I can see more questions. Rovil Vijay is asking, are there provisions for preparation for the NCI exam, which is the NCI FNG exam, the next exam, which is going to come up in 2023, the USMLE, the PLAB, so on and so forth? What provisions do we have in Ukraine to prepare our students for these exams? Please go ahead.
Mm-hmm. Okay, first of all, what I need to say. First of all, in order to be successful during such exam in India, of course, you need to have knowledges. If we will compare program, general program, medical program in Ukraine and in India, we can see that the program nearby the same. That's why all 6 years, the whole period, in order to be ready for Indian. This is the second part. A little bit busy.
I'm sorry, Abhinav Pandey, could you please switch off your microphone?
Mm-hmm. Sometimes it can happen during our classes too. That's why it's normal. Okay, about your exam. Once again, about my experience. All the time, I try to compare our program with Indian program. And of course, if I have Indian group, I try to focus on.
I'm so sorry for this. Abhinav Pandey, could you please put your microphone on mute?
Soham, you can mute everybody and unmute when they require.
Abhinav Pandey, could you please? Abhinav Pandey, could you please?
Yes.
Yeah, Abhinav Pandey, could you please just put your microphone on mute? There's a lot of noise.
Not to, sir.
Maybe they started discussion just now.
I'm sorry.
No problem.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. All right, Dr. Inesa, please continue.
Okay. I need to repeat.
Yeah,
my experience. I compare always Indian program with our program, and I try to focus my students on the main things which will be enough useful for them during their exam in India. Now I talk about ophthalmology, and as far as I can see, a lot of problem with our program. If you are successful here, it's enough in order to be successful in India.
Mm-hmm.
Any another question?
Thank you, Dr. Inesa, for answering that. Yes, we have a lot of questions actually. We have another question coming up. How is the day-to-day life of an Indian student in Ukraine? Please comment on the attitude of local students towards them. And I'll just take the similar questions together. Then there is another question in the similar way. Is there any racism in Ukraine? Memin Sohail is asking, is there any racism in Ukraine? How safe are Indian students there? I have heard a lot of stories about racism in Russia. Is it better in Ukraine? Please tell us about this. So, ma'am, could you please, like, you've been working with Indian students for so many years.
Guys, I can't compare with Russia. Actually, I can talk only about Ukraine and about safety. I want to give you one number. In Ukraine now, nearby 76,000 of foreign students. Population of the Ukraine now nearby 40 millions only. And such amount of the foreign students. That's why I think you understand my answer. I think enough safety. And this number, it tells us about that I say the truth. Actually, every year in my town, in Kharkov, more and more I see more and more Indian students, more and more. And to tell the truth, sometimes I'm very sad that a lot of our former students need to leave Ukraine. They prefer to continue to work as a doctor in India, but I prefer they stay in Ukraine, actually. And Dr. Saham is smiling now, but I need to say that mainly our opinion about Indian students is very good. Mainly they are too polite, too friendly. They have great respect to teachers. That's why, for me, it's a pleasure to work with Indian students. Dr. Saham, something else was inside the question.
No, I think you've answered the main part of the question about the Ukrainian people in general being very friendly towards Indian students. Yeah, I mean, of course, somebody spoke about racism in Russia. So, okay, I can tell you that our company also works with Russian universities. There is nothing so major as such that has come into our notice yet. Sometimes, unfortunately, bad things do happen, and we are not denying that. So, yeah, definitely. But in Ukraine, yeah, racism isn't an issue at all. So you can rest assured about that. So, yeah, so I think that was the main thing that we had in this question. Guys, please type your questions if you have any questions. We will look into it. Okay, please type your questions because we have very limited time. We have just about another 15 minutes. So, yeah. Okay, next on. Ma'am, we have a question about the CROC exams. A lot of students are very afraid of the CROC exams, of the CROC 1 and the CROC 2 exams. So the CROC exam pattern, could you just tell our students about the CROC exam pattern as well? Yeah.
About CROC. Look, before I'll tell you about the CROC, I need to say a few words in general. First of all, we have 6-year program, 6-year. If you know something about European credit transfer system, it's such system which used through the Europe, mainly for transfer students, but then we started to use it in each university in Ukraine too. According to this system, our program consists of 360 credits, 6 years. Inside this 6th year, we have two enough big, enough serious general exams. Krok 1. After 3rd year, everybody of the students should pass this exam. This exam consists of 9 main subjects. 9. Normal anatomy, pathological anatomy, normal physiology, pathological physiology, main basic subject. 9. 3 years, 9 subjects. 3 subjects during 1 year. You need to learn on the very good, in a very good way, very, very tightly to learn it in order to be successful. Once again, 3 years, 9 subjects, 3 subjects per year. That's why if from very beginning you will work hard, Krok will not be any problem for you at all. Because Krok, it's like such summary of the previous years of the study. The same about Krok 2. It's Krok 2 will cover clinical subject, because from the 4th year you will start to learn clinical subject. First 3 years it's base, and next 3 years clinical subject. And Krok 2 will cover this subject. If you have good base from the very beginning, do you remember only 9 subjects? Good result for Krok 1, you will be successful then, because clinical subject, they will be on the base of previous years of the study. And I don't know any good student who was unsuccessful. Really, I don't know such example at all.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Inesa. So as Dr. Inesa said, that the Krok exams, the Krok 1 and Krok 2 exams are nothing to be scared of as such. Like amongst Indian students, at least, like even if you are putting in the minimal effort, come on guys, you're coming to study medicine to Ukraine. So even if you are just ready to put in minimal efforts, you will definitely pass the Krok 1 and Krok 2 subjects, the exams. They are very clearly very subject-based, exam-oriented exam patterns. So yes, you will absolutely pass these exams. This shouldn't be an obstruction in your way when you think about coming to Ukraine. Okay, guys. So yeah, now since we have a limitation of time, we have about 10 more minutes. So I think I will start participating in the question and answer session as well, because I can see more of organizational questions. Okay, is 6-year internship also included? Kanamurti is asking if the internship is also included in the 6 years. No, in Ukraine, the internship is not included in the 6 years. After 6 years, you need to pass an additional internship. I'll just give you a rough framework about how the system works right now. So Indian students usually study 6 years in Ukraine. After that, they answer the MCI FMG exam, they pass it, and then there is a 1-year obligatory rotatory internship that they have to fulfill in India. So that's the system right now. Okay. There's another question which is about, can you talk about, my bum Basana is asking, can you talk about why many students opt for the MCI exam or the USMLE, etc., to practice medicine elsewhere? Why not further continue in Ukraine? I'm sorry, my bum, I'm sorry, please excuse me if I'm not pronouncing your name correctly. My bum, of course, you can practice medicine in Ukraine as well. I'll tell you why, the main reasons why students don't want to stay back in Ukraine or continue further, although there are a good number, including me, who stayed back in Ukraine and who are practicing medicine in Ukraine. And I know many Indians who've stayed back here and who are practicing medicine, and they're doing pretty well, actually. So here the thing is, look, okay, the medical education is in the English language, but when you actually go out in the real world and practice medicine, it's in the Ukrainian or the Russian language. These are the 2 local languages that are spoken over here. So language becomes a little difficult for you when you actually go out to practice, not in the hospitals, because in the hospitals, when your teacher is assisting you, taking you to patients, there is always a possibility and an opportunity that you have for the teacher to become a translator, or even you, when you are in Ukraine, for the first 3 years, you will be trained in Ukrainian or Russian language. Like, you'll have this language as a separate subject. Okay, like, okay, again, there are certain myths about this, but I'll just clear the way over this myth. What is Ukrainian language or Russian language as a subject? So we all have been to English medium schools, and in English medium schools, we have studied Hindi as a subject, Hindi literature, Hindi language as a subject. But our medium of instruction was in English. Like, we studied mathematics, history, geography, science in the English language. So similarly, for the ease of life of international students in Ukraine, you just have to learn the language for the first 3 years. It's 1 hour in the whole week, so it's very easy. And Russian and Ukrainian are very easy languages to learn, so you don't need to worry about it. Okay, next question: is the MBBS syllabus same as in India? If not, how is it going to help Indian students appearing for next exam when they come back after completing their MBBS? Shailesh Kumar is asking this question. Okay, no. First of all, Mr. Kumar, the syllabus, see, there is ultimately you study medicine, okay, like subjects like ophthalmology, internal medicine, general surgery. The main content of these subjects, the base of these subjects, it's the same throughout the world. I mean, if you, for example, if you're studying geography, okay, the geography remains, the base of the subject remains the same anywhere in the world. Of course, because India is a tropical country and Ukraine is a cold country. So there are some diseases, there are a difference in the diseases that occur amongst the population. So in this case, yes, there is a certain difference between a few diseases that the students don't study here and a few extra that they study here. And then when they go back to India, they have an opportunity to be acquainted to these diseases. For example, malaria. Malaria, in my first 6 years of medicine that I studied in Ukraine, I'm sorry, I didn't study about malaria because malaria, the disease doesn't exist over here in Ukraine. But in India, it's one of the most common diseases. As a general physician, if you're seeing 20 patients in a day in the monsoons, probably 10 or 12 patients would be that of malaria. So we have additional training in Ukraine that help students to study for the NCI or the FMG exam. We have an option of additional coaching classes that we provide, that Europe Education Ukraine provides you with. We have both. Now, after the pandemic, of course, we have online classes, but we have teachers from India who specifically train students for the FMG exam, and thereon it will be the next exam, who fly down to Ukraine to help our students. So we have this provision of coaching, and it's at a very, like, if somebody is interested in the cost, it's a very nominal cost. It won't hurt your pockets, definitely. Okay, next on, Tilakesh Ramaswamy. Oh, hi, TK. Ma'am, could you please comment on the education system and the marking and assessment system for international students studying medicine in Ukraine? Dr. Inesa, would you like to take that question? I think this will be one of our last questions. So if you could very shortly comment on the assessment or the marking system, the ECTS, if you could just speak a little more about it. Yeah.
What I need to say, as far as Ukraine and Ukrainian university connected to so-called Bologna process, this Bologna process use ECTS system, what we have now. We don't have so-called final session at the end of the year. You need to work hard during each lesson, and you will earn your points during each lesson. Then finally, these marks will be summarized, and you will have your final mark. According to European system, the best mark which you can earn, it's 200 points. 120 points you can earn during your practical lessons, during everyday work. And then finally, you will write so-called module or final test. it can give you 80 points. And summary will show level of your knowledges. But at the same time, in Ukraine, we use two so-called 4-point system: excellent mark, good mark, satisfied, and non-satisfied. That's why sometimes you can see the same points, but in another way. Excellent if you earn more than 180 points. Good if you earn more than 160 points. Such system. But what important that you need to work hard during the whole semester, during the whole year. You need to be ready to each lesson, because each lesson will add your points for your final mark. And finally, in your transcript, you will have your final mark, which will show how you work during the whole year, during the whole period of study of any subject. I hope it's clear.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Dr. Saham.
Yeah. I think that was a very good explanation about the Bologna system, about the 5-point system, about the ECTS. Okay, guys, we'll be quickly taking up some questions right now, and then we'll wrap up the session because we have a limitation of time, and Dr. Inesa has a limitation of time as well. So yeah, there's a question. So do we have to pay 6 years fees or 7 years fees? Of course, you have to pay 6 years fees because you're studying in Ukraine for 6 years. So absolutely, you won't pay more, like just for 6 years. There is another question about the cost of education. Okay, cost of education, if we speak about it, I think Prince is asking this question. The cost of education is anything between 21 lakhs to 30 lakhs Indian rupees for the whole course, together. Okay, like this includes your tuition fees, all the expenses in your first year, your hostel fees for 6 years. We are not adding pocket expenses over here. So yeah, from 21 lakhs to 30 lakhs, depending on which university you want to go to. Is it compulsory to qualify NEET for the admission in Ukraine? Okay, Natasha Wang has asked this question. Natasha, the thing is that it's a yes. First of all, the answer is a yes. Yes, it is compulsory to qualify NEET. But last year there was a thing, because of the ongoing pandemic, the Delhi High Court has allowed you to go abroad to study, but you can come back during the next year and you can answer the NEET exam. For example, students who came here in 2020, and who didn't have an opportunity to pass the NEET exam, they anyway just came to Ukraine. And after that, in 2021, they are supposed to pass the NEET exam. So you have 1 year's time. You can come here to study, and after that, you can go back the next year and answer NEET. That is also good enough. Okay, guys, we will now start wrapping up the session. So let me just go through the questions if we have any other new questions. Prince, the course is completely in English language, so you don't need to worry about it. Okay, guys, so yeah, I think we'll wrap up already. So right now, I would just like to tell you a few words about our company. So our company, Europe Education, is of course one of the premier organizations in India for providing students with admissions in Ukraine, Russia, Armenia, Philippines, so on and so far. As well as we have an exclusivity. Why you should choose us over other agencies is because we give you an after-service assistance as well. So we just don't forget about you after you come to Ukraine. We are with you for the 6 years. I, as the head of Europe Education Ukraine, I'm going to be with you, going to assist you for the 6 years that you spend in Ukraine, every day and every hour of the day, whenever you need us to be there. Apart from this, I would just like to tell you about a few other programs our company is involved in. I think this is one of the firsts in India. So we have a group of 54 Indian doctors who have already qualified the NCI-FMG exam and who are working in hospitals in India right now. Then we have a group of 10 doctors who have used the services of our agency. Right now, they are in different countries, inclusive of Ukraine, the United States, the United Kingdom, in Germany. These are all our friends. These are either my senior doctors, my junior doctors, or my batchmates, all of these practicing doctors. And we have this valuable set of doctors. We have these valuable set of doctors at our disposal, and our students can consult with them for any of these exams that they need. They can consult with them as soon as you become a part of our organization. You get access to this consultation from these doctors who have qualified different exams in the world, and they will guide you through your academics in Ukraine. Another thing, apart from daily affairs, daily life affairs in Ukraine, we also assist you with academics. We have a lot of educational programs as well, and we have a lot of other educational facilities that we provide you with. For example, if you take admission through us for the first year, whatever books and whatever medical literature that you need during the first year, our company is going to sponsor this for you. I think that's all for today, for today's Zoom session. We will be organizing such Zoom sessions more often, I think, because honestly, I'm very thankful and very grateful to all the participants of today's session. We have 37 participants, and we had up to 52 participants today, actually. So at one point of time, so we really didn't turn out such kind of such a kind of an outcome. But anyway, so this is Dr. Soham signing off from Europe Education Private Limited. You can visit our website, www.europeeducation.in, and our national student helpline number, which is 95848-11115. You can find this information on our website, and you can reach out to us on any social media platforms, including Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, WhatsApp, whatever it is. We'll always be there for you. We are open to any questions that you want to ask us. So thank you so much, everybody, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us. We wish you a wonderful day ahead, and we wish to see you again in our further Zoom sessions. Last but not the least, let me immensely thank Dr. Inesa Ishkova for giving us this 40-minute slot from her extremely busy schedule. So Dr. Inesa, we are very, very grateful to you for time. Thank you so much, ma'am. Yeah, goodbye, everybody. See you soon. Yeah,
thank you, Dr. Soham. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Bye.
Thank you.